Good morning. Jamey and I are here at the Argentine Pass Trailhead, and this is located in the White River National Forest, which means we're in the drone zone, baby. And today, we're gonna go for Mount Edwards, which is a high 13er. I think we're looking at roughly maybe 3.5 miles out and maybe a 2,700 foot elevation gain, something like that. Official start time 7:05, and props to Jamey for doing this beast of a drive this morning. I mean, I think he picked me up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so that's how long it took to get down here. And just past this little filling station is a gate. All right, and this trail has access to Argentine Pass and the Peruvian mine trails. Now, the Peruvian mine trail sounds pretty cool. I can see why they call this thing the White River. That's very cool. Yep, we're getting on the Argentine Pass Trail, number 77. That was a good year, 1977. And that's looking back down at where we started. Whew. We're plowing up this thing. Yeah, you definitely don't want to trip and roll down this hillside to my left. Hey, you're probably not going to stop until you hit the bottom. Ooh, we're getting up there. All right, guys, we've been hiking for almost 1 hour. We've come out about 1.6 miles, according to my GPS. And we have just come up and over 12,200, which means we've already knocked out roughly 1,100 vertical feet of elevation gain. We still got quite a bit left. Starting to get a little crazy through here. And we've made it out to the first obstacle here. Have to get across this snow. Yeah, this is a cool little section. Nice. Whoa! This backpack almost pulled me backwards. I think it's just about 8:30 right now, and the trail leads up to this little notch right here. That's at about 13,200. So I think we're looking at about 600 vertical feet to get up to that point. And then we'll bounce it across the top on up to the summit of Mount Edwards. And that's probably another 600 vertical feet across the top. Yeah, this next half mile is going to be a grinder. Got to take it on up to the ridge up there. And we're just under 13,000 vertical feet. So we're knocking this out. We've probably come up a little over 1,800 thus far. But that's going to be looking out onto Grays. The one in the back is Torrey's. And then this rounded one right here is Edwards. And that's where we're heading. And then right up there is where we're going to gain the ridge and take it across all those little high points up there. Almost there. We've made it up here to Argentine Pass, and let's check the time. 9:17 right now, so that took us a little over 2 hours because we've been sitting up here for a few minutes. I've already flown my drone around. But yeah, this is Argentine Pass. We're at just over 13,200 vertical feet, and that is going to be Argentine Peak right there. Square Top in the background, and then Wilcox. I've got a video from a few years ago where I did all three of those in one go. It's a pretty fun little hike. We just got done taking a nice little 10-minute break up here at Argentine Pass. We both flew our drones around, but it's time to continue on. And we got to go up and over this first little high point. We're grinding our way up these rocks right here. We're looking real good, guys. We made it to the top of this high point, and now we're gonna bounce it across the top. I think we're looking at less than 1 mile over to Mount Edwards. It's not too far at all. I went ahead and put both of my jackets on down there at the pass, and when you're in the wind, they feel great. When there's no wind, it's hot as heck. The amount of massive peaks I can see right now is pretty mind-blowing. I think we're coming up and over the last little high point before the summit out there. Man, this thing keeps looking like it's going to be right there in front of us, but then it's not. Whew. I mean, it is right there in front of us, but it's like somewhat far away. All right, we've done all the whoop-de-doos across the ridge to get to this point, and this is the last part. Looking at 350 vertical feet up to the top. This last little part to the top is a killer. We still got maybe 200 vertical feet in about 2/10 of a mile. Man, this is hard. This hike is harder than it seems on paper. On paper, you're like, oh yeah, two and a half hours, we'll be up there. Not. The pain lets you know that you're alive. Yeah, baby. Feel the burn. We're 1/10 of a mile away. We just got to keep chugging up the side here. We've come up and over the false summit, but that's going to be the true summit right out there in front of us. And we did it. Summit of Mount Edwards. It's just now 10:10 on the nose. So that took us 3 hours and 5 minutes. Yep, that was my fault. We couldn't break 3 hours. I was going a little slow. Amazing views. Wow. And we got some savage terrain on this side of the mountains. Wow. That looks brutal through there. All the way down to the bottom of the basin. And that's looking over at Torrey's. That's a 14er. There's probably 500 people on that mountain right now. And then that massive one right there at the end of the ridge is going to be Gray's, which is another super popular 14er here in the state of Colorado. And for good reason. Look at all the peaks you can see. This is unbelievable. And this is looking back more to the east. I believe that's going to be Mount Blue Sky and Bierstadt sticking up back there. And then that's looking down at the ridge that we hiked across. And the reason that this took a little longer than expected is because we're both getting about 4 miles on our GPS, which is a little longer than the 3.5 that we thought it was. So that makes more sense. I'm trying to figure out this whole time, like, why am I going so slow? Why is this taking so long? Because it's 4 miles, not 3.5. That's why. Pfft. Duh. All right, guys, it's about 11:10, and we've been sitting up here on the summit of Mount Edwards for an hour. But we got to start heading back, or else we're going to get stuck in that Denver traffic. So it is time to go. It's time to head on back. And that was a pretty solid hike, getting to the top of Mount Edwards. A little tougher than I had anticipated it being. I think it was the altitude. The higher elevations and thinner air just made it a little harder. We're bouncing up and over this ridge, hitting the high points, And I'm gonna say that this hike has a net elevation gain of probably over 3,000 vertical feet when you add in all the up and down. Yeah, it's gotta be 3,000 at least. Yeah, there are quite a few of these little whoop-de-doos along the ridge that you have to go up and over. It's like just when you think you're at the end of them, there's 3 more. And that has taken us 35 minutes to come down from the summit back to where we're gonna re-merge with the trail. And this is the Continental Divide Trail. This is part of it anyway. Cool. Yeah, coming down this road is 50 times easier than going up it. Probably 51 times easier, to be honest. Whoa! Oh man, I almost just snapped my groin. We just made it through the first snow field, and I know we've got one major one left up here around the corner. And then once we make it past that little part, the rest of this trail is all PG rated, all the way back down to the truck. Oh, we're fighting our way through the crux here. This is easily the crux. This little snowy section. Yeah, we had to go like up and around it. Super loose terrain through here. It feels like somebody threw a bunch of big old rocks onto a beach. It's like totally loose. We've made it back down to the Argentine past Trailhead. It's just now 1:05, so that took us an hour and 55 minutes to come down. Looking at 3:05 up, 1:55 down, and that's going to be 4 miles in each direction. Well, hope you enjoyed that hike, and until the next one, y'all, peace.